First thing I do when somebody tells me about a piece of property to look at. This is Rick Jarman, Real Estate Old School. The very first thing I'll do is I'll take that address before I go spend time riding and looking at it or whatever. I have the courthouse records in my office, but I know there's things out there on Zulu or whatever you call it. I've never been on a day of my life, so don't even ask me about it, because like I told you, I do all my trading right here in town. I got my courthouse record that tells me everything I need to know. And I've been thinking about checking it out. But anyway, of course, everything I know about it, every time somebody says, well, my house is worth this, Zulu said it was. And I'm thinking, well, Zulu's wrong. Your house ain't worth that. I mean, man, come on, folks. You can't just go by that all the time, because my goodness, how can that be right all over the country? It can't be, I guarantee you. I know it ain't in my neck of the woods. So anyway, what I do, and you can do the same thing, whatever method you use. I heard them talk about all these apps the other day that you can use to find property and stuff, and piqued my interest. I'm probably going to check into it. But right now, I still do it old school. I've got all the courthouse records at my office. I go and I look, and I see how much the people paid for the piece of property. I like to look and see how much they owe. Now, if there's a big difference in what they paid for it and what they owe, might be a deal made. But if you look at a piece of property, now, you know, there's exceptions to all rules. I understand that, like I always tell you. But if you look at a piece of property and somebody just owes about as much as they paid for it, well, they can't discount that to get it gone unless they're about to lose it, and then it's a short sale and you're dealing with the bank and all. That's a headache. But they don't have the room. Unless they got a mighty good job and they want to get out bad enough they pay down to sell you their house, but that don't happen often. Now, it happens. I understand. Don't everybody go DM and say, well, by God, this happened for me. There's exceptions to all the rules, but we're talking about 9 out of 10 pieces of property are this situation. So if you see that there's a pretty good spread, then you got more room. I know it might be something I can be interested in. I'm not going to waste my time if there's no room for me to get them down on the price. Then if it's a situation where there's not a mortgage on it, chance for owner financing. You know, I've talked about this in my videos. And then if the house is already being a rental, what they call that, the trifecta, you got all kind of options. Because a lot of times a person just gets tired of handling rental property. You know, I don't even care if they're letting somebody else handle it, they still get tired of dealing with it. Now, what if all they had to do was collect that check every month? They ain't got to go over there and see about stopped up toilets. They ain't got to find out about broken lights. They ain't even got to be dealing with it. They just wait on the mailman to bring them that check in the mail. Alrighty. That's how you find them sometimes when there's no mortgages. And it's already a rental. That's good. If it isn't a rental, it's still a possibility they may want to own a finance. I've talked about this earlier before. It could be somebody, an older person, you know, want to go live with the kids, go to the nursing home, but they maybe want the income. They don't want the hassle of selling the house or paying taxes on all the money that comes in, whatever it is. If it's a rental, whatever the problem may be. There's always things you got to find out. I call it, you have to play detective. We play it even when people go to rent our houses. They'll fill out the application and tell you, yeah, this is who I rent from. Well, you check the address who they're renting from, and it doesn't line up with the name they're telling you. They're playing you. You know, how, you know, because then you call that person, oh yeah, they're good tenants, they always pay on time. But you sitting there looking at their credit and they ain't paid nothing on time. Now, why do you think they paid the rent? They're messing with you. I love to catch them doing that and bring it to their attention. Call the hand. You know, you can't go through this world lying to everybody. Kind of got off the subject, didn't I? I'm known to do that. Anyway, if say you find a piece of property, somebody brings it to you, and the real estate agent or somebody, and they said, this house is for sale. This person's a landlord, but they don't want to be a landlord no more. Still, first thing I do, I go look at the records. I see how long they had it, how much do they owe, how much did they pay for it. And then I take that name and I look and see how many more pieces of property they own. Because if they're unhappy with this one, they're going to probably be unhappy with the others sooner or later. Folks, there's no one way of doing these things. Everybody, alas, say, well, how do you find your properties? How do you do this? How do you do that? It's no one way. You just got to look for clues. You learn your market, like I always tell you. You look for clues to figure out how to make a deal happen, and then you make it happen. But sometimes you just got to let the deal go. You know, everything, just because somebody tells you it's a deal, don't make it a deal. One thing I learned from, I think it's second book Donald Trump wrote, like I said, well, I don't care about your politics, but the man's a real estate man now. Ain't no doubt about that. In one of his books, he said, sometimes you're the winner when the deal walks out the door. Now remember that. Sometimes you're the winner when the deal walks out the door. Because sometimes we get caught up, it's kind of like being at an auction. You get caught up in the moment, you won't make that deal happen no matter what. You better off sometimes than just go on to the next piece of property. Anyway, I hope it's been helpful today. Just kind of talking about a few little different things, but I hope it'll help you, and y'all have a good day. Well, folks, I thought I'd better come back and let y'all know I was just funny with you. I know it's Zillow. I was just messing. I'm gone this time.